All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Strange Planet Podcast, and this will be a movie-based episode. We will be talking about a variety of movies, some Christmas-based, but to start off, we will briefly talk about the situation about Jonathan Majors, in which a jury found him guilty of assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend, which led to Marvel immediately firing him. For those that don't know, he played Kang the Conqueror in a lot of the more recent Marvel films and shows, so I'm assuming they're going to be recasting him at some point. It's a shame, too, because, I don't know if he's been in shit in the past, say, 5 or 6 years or whatnot, but I kind of feel like I've only seen him in maybe the past, I don't know, maybe 2 years, 3 years. But everything he was in, surprisingly, I thought it was pretty good, especially that Lovecraft Country, which was based off of a book series. It was like that mythological shit and had like Cthulhu in there. And, it was a lot of freaky shit in that thing. Didn't make it past the season, unfortunately. So they kind of axed it quick. But I actually.
Yeah, that's crazy because I saw a lot of like promotional materials and commercials for that. And, I've even heard people talking about it. So it's surprising that it only lasted for one season.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. Maybe it was just too far, too edgy for some people, or maybe the budget was too high because there was a lot of special effects in it. But I really don't know what happened. But you know what's crazy? The chick that was in that was like the other supporting character, she was very well known too. And I can't remember what her name is. I'm looking it up now. But she was in, did you ever see that Birds of Prey? It was horrible. But did you ever see that movie?
Birds of Prey sounds familiar.
It was all the DC women, I guess, made a movie with all of them.
Damn, they really had to call it Birds of Prey,
right? Which is just right. But she was Black Canary in it.
Why don't they just call them bitches?
I think it was Smollett.
Just call the movie bitches. Like
Smollett sound familiar? Journey Smollett,
Jussie
maybe.
Smollett? Oh, Journey Smollett. That's his Jussie Smollett's sister.
That's who was in it. It was her, I'm pretty sure. She was in Lovecraft and she was Black Canary, so I'm pretty sure that's who it was. So those were like the main two people in the show. And I thought it was good too, but I guess not enough.
I remember Journey Smollett from the movie The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington.
I actually heard of that, but I never seen it.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
When the hell did that come out?
Oh, a while back.
It is kind of old, right? Like 2007 maybe, or it's 2007.
I think 2007's old.
Yeah, right. That's the scary part. Are you sure she's in it?
15 years ago. I'm pretty sure she was in it.
She is in it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, she definitely is.
That's the first time I saw her.
Well, I mean, how much can you like a movie about where the god is a giant squid that will eat the universe?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It wasn't entirely based on that. It was based on the Lovecraft Country books, apparently. There's like a whole series there of fantasy and shit like that. And apparently, I guess the original intention was to probably, make a lot of that as to a movie or show adaptation. But right. I guess not. I think that show was in 2019. So you figure it lasted that year, and I think it was a summer kind of show too. So it ended.
Did it get delayed because of COVID, and then I
probably
guess
got delayed.
People might have moved on, or
I didn't think of that. You're right. COVID might have actually helped kill it too. Yeah, because everything was on shutdown.
COVID killed a lot of things.
Yeah, it really did. Wow. So I bet you that probably played a role in the whole thing, because that was very new at the time, and then. Just after the release is when I think it happened.
Usually you figure for a show like that's based on, a very popular book series, or at least very with a cult following like that, you'd think that they would give it, at least a couple of years, 3 years to, develop itself. But one season, shows really don't get canceled after one season unless they're really bad. And didn't sound like that show was really bad.
No,
or
it really
received like a really poor reception.
It just it was bad timing. It probably was just getting started, and then COVID happened, and at that point, everyone's attention was diverted somewhere else. And you can't give
Yep.
a show ratings if nobody's watching it. Everyone's watching Dr. Fauci talk about stuff.
They couldn't film, and
Yeah, like
everything was
everything was shut
delayed.
down. Even like the late night shows, like they were doing them from their house. Like,
Right, so
Yeah.
maybe they didn't know when they were coming back, and maybe they signed
Yeah.
on to other projects.
that's more than likely, and also because like you figure if it's on hold or shut down, the actors aren't going to sit around. They need to find work, so they're gonna. If another script gets pitched at them, they're likely going to take it if they don't have anything going on. So
Yeah,
then by the
gotta
time maybe
eat.
it would have resumed, they
When did
would have
that-
been involved in something else.
When did the writer's strike happen again? We just talked about that a few weeks ago or something.
That was it. It's officially over. There was a writer's strike and then an actor's strike. Actually, there was
Yeah.
two. I want to say that in total, I think it lasted almost like a year, but I'm estimating here, so I might be a little wrong.
3. So it would have been COVID happened. Everyone's coming back from COVID. Actors are acting again. They're realizing things aren't going their way because, companies, like all companies do, is take advantage while everyone's down. They're like, hey,
Right.
we need more money now because COVID and inflation and so on and so forth.
Well,
That's probably what happened with that.
that's part
I mean,
of it. But then you figure AI played a big role in all that too, and what they wanted
here's
to
the-
do with the face scans. So like, I
Mhm.
don't blame the actors for not being on board with that, because that would be like a one-time payment for the actor, and then that leaves the studio to basically do whatever the hell they want with that for the rest of the time being, and they don't have to pay them, which would be crazy. So I understand entirely why they were pissed about that, because that doesn't make sense. That's just stupid,
Like about 10 years ago, I would say, maybe around that number, there was another writer's strike. And during that time, there were two shows that were just starting that me and my girlfriend were really interested in. We were interested in the Terminator one, which was a regular show about the Terminator with Sarah Connor and so on and so forth. And that was kind of interesting. And then there was a show called Evidence, which was like a detective show. But the cool thing about it was you got all the evidence that you needed for the conviction at the very beginning. It gave you, quick shots of like severed finger, a street address, a bloody knife, something like that. You'd get a couple different shots, and then the show would start. It would progress down the way. You start to figure out whose finger's getting cut off, or when is this person getting shot, or what's happening over here. The premise of it was cool. It gave a different spin on the detective shows, kind of like, all right, here's the clues. Can you figure it out before it happens? And both those shows ended up canned because the writer's strike came at that time. And then those shows got canceled, and everything kind of had to like start all over when they finished their strike. So, it sucks that, good shows can get canned either by not having enough people pay attention to it early on enough, or something like a writer's strike or COVID comes by and just delays it until it dies.
Right. And another thing I wanted to add to that was it seems like COVID really is another reason for this too. But prior to COVID, I felt like the movie theater was a place they can get away for a couple hours and just watch some shit. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what the show was or what the movie was or what the deal was, but it was still a place you can go. And, people could bring their girls, you can go alone, you can bring your friends, but it was, a place you can go and watch something. I feel like after COVID, ever since they started trying to put all this shit on like HBO services and like streaming services, it's been taking a real gut punch to the entire like box office. And now I feel like where we are now, I feel like the movies are shutting down left and right. And I don't know if that's like part of their ploy and what they want to do. And like, getting rid of movie theaters, period. But I kind of like going to the movies. I ain't going to lie. You know what I mean? So like in 5-10
Right,
years, if they're
unless
gone,
you're-
that's going to suck.
Unless you're going there like every week. Most people don't go to the movies every week, especially now. There's so much available, not just, cinema, but also television shows have gotten a lot better.
That's true.
Starting with
That's very
HBO, you had, The Sopranos, you had just like shows like Lost.
Breaking
Lost.
Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
And of course, Breaking Bad, which I was going to bring up, that actually, when that show started, it was subject to a writer's strike. And I believe that was why the first season was only 6 episodes, I believe.
Yeah, it was just a handful. You're right.
And that show could have been killed in its cradle, but that show was allowed to come back, and it just got better and better and better with each season. And
It
I don't
did.
think a lot of shows that would be subject to a writer's strike and be cut short like that, I don't know if a lot of shows would be able to recover from that and to turn it around and blow up even later down the line like Breaking Bad did. Breaking
Right.
Bad started out, it was kind of slow. Some people heard of it, I guess, and you heard some people talking about it, but then it really didn't start to gain traction until toward the end of its run, actually.
You're right. It became more of a show that people watched after it's like was finished almost. So people probably watched that like it was one super long movie.
Yeah, no, and the quality of that show was like one super long movie. And to
For real.
my point earlier, television has evolved to be a medium of storytelling that is not only on par in terms of acting quality. You know, a lot of Hollywood big screen actors now come to the small screen and perform.
And it's probably more consistent. So, you know what I mean? In the
But
longer run, it's a wiser decision. You know what I mean?
right, but also, you know, they get to develop these characters over multiple seasons, over a long period of time. And the writers get to develop them, and the fans get to know these characters over a longer period of time. And so that gives it more of a chance to resonate with people than movies do, which are kind of like a one and done thing. So,
short, condensed versions. Yeah.
you know, you don't have as much time for character development. You know, it's very much like a formulaic cookie cutter type of plot, whereas television allows you to sort of take your time and tell the story and get to know the characters
And you
in a
can see
way
how
that's
they
similar.
change.
Yeah, in a way that's similar to what novels do, except you get to see it happen visually.
Right.
And you get to see the actors perform. And so it's television shows have become this thing that takes the best of what movies have to offer and combine it with a lot of what novels have to offer. So in some ways, it could be one of the best forms of modern media that we have. That along with video games, which also have potential, but that's another story.
That's very true. And actually, going back for a quick minute to the writer's strike, every, I'd say within a decade almost, there was always a strike. Because you remember back when Lost was like almost on its way out. I think they had a strike. There was a writer's strike then too. And then it affected, missing episodes, so they weren't as long those seasons towards the end.
That I think might have been the same writer's strike that affected the beginning of Breaking Bad.
Right. I think that you're right. I think that they kind of go hand in hand. That's true. But that shows you how long that and how repetitive that unfortunate event is. Hopefully now it's, set in stone and it's not going to, really come back. But history shows, I guess the people on top are greedy as hell and they don't want to pay the people that probably deserve it the most, which are the writers and the actors. If you think about it.
Well, then you also got to talk about, the people that do the little bits, the makeup designers and the costume designers, the
of
prop
course.
guys.
Yeah, like they matter, right?
Little Timmy who goes and gets everyone coffee and make sure it's right.
Just to play devil's advocate a little bit, you also need to be able to have those shows and those movies funded because, you have to have, production money coming in. And so unless the actor who's already an established famous actor is willing to produce the movie him or herself, a lot of projects, especially these independent projects that aren't like Marvel movies or something, a lot of these projects won't see the light of day because they're risky ventures for people to undertake. And so if you can get a large studio to buy into the story you're trying to tell in your movie or television show, then that's going to go a long way to getting the project to fruition and getting money for the writers and the actors and the rest of the cast and crew.
Yeah, that is true. And like you were saying, that is a big going back to the TV and theater concept. Yeah, you're right. Television has definitely evolved to the point where even technologically, obviously, it's on par, or some might even argue it could be even better. But it would still suck. I'm going to say it again. But it still would suck, though, if it does like end up cutting the whole movie theater aspect. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you guys, but like I said before, I kind of like going to the theater. And sometimes even if the movie sucks, I mean, then, you know, you got a roast ahead of you instead or something. But like, yeah, I mean, it's just the whole venue and like the experience of going is just like the giant screen. You know what I mean? You like, sure, you could watch a movie that's in the theater at home, but you know what I mean? It's not the same. It's just not the same.
Well, here's the thing about that. It's with the advent of like Netflix and all these streaming services now, you can essentially wait for whatever show you're watching to hit one of those platforms. And instead of watching week to week or day to day, you watch a marathon of it to make it like one gigantic movie.
Right, right.
16 hours long. You watch in segments, and it that kind of makes your home your theater. And with the technology of the TVs and stuff we have now, the theater quality is maybe not as good. I mean, think about the theaters you go to. Floor's sticky. That's always a thing. You know, you got the people around you. Someone maybe brought a friggin' crying baby. Why are they here? Or you have a couple to the right that's just talking too damn much.
Yeah, that's true. I guess there are like inconveniences, I guess you can say.
I mean, I'll agree with you. I liked the idea, and I liked the whole experience of going to the theater and waiting online, getting your ticket. Like, yeah, we're gonna go see this new movie, and it's gonna be amazing. It's in 3D and this and that. Then you sit down and you have your experience. And you know, who knows? Maybe you had to go pee and you missed a section, or you know, you're sitting there and you run out of popcorn, or let's say you enjoy the movie or you don't enjoy the movie. The experience is definitely something for everyone to experience. I don't think the genre should die, but It's definitely at the point where it's outdated.
And if you remember, of course, I'm sure most of us in here will definitely remember, one of the biggest things about the theater, this is dating ourselves a bit though, was at one point in time, that was the only place you would see trailers of upcoming movies that were coming maybe years in advance. Yeah. But now with the internet and everything else, you can watch trailers all day if you want of shows, movies, whatever, you know what I mean? But there was a time period where the only time you could have seen a trailer to a movie that was upcoming, you know, a year or 2, 6 months, whatever, was at the theater. So like most people try to get to the theater early. So this way you could check some of those, you know, previews out before the movie you're about to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I for one think it's really nice to be able to go on YouTube and watch a trailer.
Well, right.
I mean, it's less exciting, I guess, than to show up at a movie early and then be surprised by, whoa, what's this movie? Whereas when you go to YouTube, you see the title already, you see
people or the image,
Yeah, so that mystery is gone now. But I think the convenience of being able to access it, whenever you want, I think that outweighs sort of the experience. It's sad that you don't get to have that experience really anymore. But at the same time, it's definitely great to be able to just go on the internet and get access to whatever you want, whenever you want, and not have it sort of gatekept behind a paywall for, an outlandishly priced movie ticket.
That's true. And it allows you to watch it multiple times. So if you want to like analyze it, or if it's something you've been following, if you were to do it the old way, you could only see it once. You know what I mean? But now with YouTube,
breakdowns of trailers if you want.
Yeah, for real. Like,
so yeah, it takes away the mystery, but it also opens up a lot more intrigue when it comes to people being hyped about a movie.
Right. And the other thing I will say that is a benefit though about the movies in the theater per se being on like a streaming service or being able to watch it at your home is for like handicap people. You know what I mean? I find that that's good for them. So this way they don't have to go through the hassle of, you know what I mean, getting out of the house or whatnot. They can just watch it at home if they choose. You know what I mean? So it'll be less maybe work. So I could see that maybe being maybe a little helpful for them in a sense.
Sure, but it's also good for places to be used to making accommodations for handicapped people. You know, we shouldn't have an excuse for people to just say, "Oh, you know what? The handicapped people, they could just stay at home."
Right.
You know,
At the same time,
it's important
right.
that we still make places of public accommodation like accessible to those people.
Accessible to everyone. Right, right. That makes that makes perfect sense. And I mean, for the
Yeah.
most part, they are. Even ballparks and stadiums
Oh, well,
are usually
I
wheelchair accessible and stuff. So it's
no,
not that
like,
they're not.
back when I was in college and I got in a car accident and I broke my femur.
Oh, shit, I remember
Yeah,
that actually.
I had to use a wheelchair for several months while I recovered. And let me tell you, it was not a fun experience. I definitely got a sense of how difficult navigating around public is for handicapped people that, most people don't even think about
Right.
because and they take for granted that they can, easily open a door and close it.
Yeah, like simple
Whereas
tasks become
if you're
tougher.
in a wheelchair, not only do you can't use your legs or whatever to leverage getting a door open or whatever and holding it open. Like, can you imagine, like, you're in a wheelchair, so the door is here and you have to open the door, but the wheelchair is there too. So like, how do you do that? That's why they have doors that you can press a button and they open automatically, and handicapped people can get through fairly easily. But that's also comes at great expense. I remember going into an elevator, and that was kind of difficult. But it's a lot less difficult than trying to go up the stairs. I mean,
Right, right.
so I think it's important to most people aren't going to be aware of those type of things as they go throughout their daily lives, but it's really important to fund those things, at the federal and state level and through donations.
Right. And they keep it intact too. That's something that, I mean, we need that in society in general.
And wow, I got off topic.
Okay, considering that Christmas is the end of the week, we can just talk about really quickly. Like, all right, G Rook, what is your favorite Christmas movie to watch on Christmas?
Well, I guess we do have the holiday season, right around the corner.
I mean, I know there's a bunch of people see every Christmas that they like, but what is the one movie like you have to see in Christmas?
I can tell you, and you may laugh, but I can tell you one that I probably wouldn't be upset if I never saw it again, and that's A Christmas Story. Go figure.
Oh man, that's a classic, man.
It is classic, but I am so sick of it right now that I don't care.
You know what?
I never see it again.
That's that's the you'll shoot your eye out kid one with the lamp with the leg and
and the BB gun and
yeah. No,
I kind of agree with you there, so G. Many. Thank you. You do too. Yeah,
I've seen that movie so many times, and while it's a great movie and a classic, it's just like,
you can only watch it so many times. Like I'll
yeah.
And one of the damn channels every Christmas plays it 24 hours on that day. So I make sure that I never watch that channel on that day. Imagine that's like something you would do to a torture method to a mental patient or something, like sit in the room and watch that for 24 hours. You bugging, bro. And answer your question though about what Christmas movie, that's a really good one, to be honest. But like some people claim Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and some people claim that it's not.
That's a conversation for another time. We're going for like a 5-minute, like, what's your favorite movie to watch?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So I was gonna say that might be one of them, to be honest. but I don't know if it's really classified.
To not get into that conversation, but I will agree that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So if that's the movie, like, I got to see Die Hard on Christmas, I'll accept that.
For now, I'm going to leave it at that, but I don't think that's it.
I mean, for me, I'm kind of torn between National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is absolutely hilarious.
That's a good movie. That was a good movie.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, it could either be the original cartoon,
okay,
or it could even be the one that Jim Carrey did. Because I thought he did a good job on that one.
Yeah,
that one was amazing as well.
And Elf was funny.
Oh,
Elf was funny, yes, and that is now a Christmas classic as well.
And Bad Santa.
You know, it was also great. Bad Santa was funny. I don't know if I would. I mean, sure, it's about Christmas, but I don't know if I would consider that a
classic
Christmas movie per se.
Yeah, no, it's not a family.
It's a Christmas movie in the same way that Friday After Next was a Christmas movie.
Right.
Yeah, it took place around Christmas. It was Christmas themed, but I wouldn't exactly call that something that brings out the holiday spirit.
Yeah, it's not family friendly, I guess we'll say.
Right. I like. And along with that, I would say Four Christmases. If you've ever seen that movie, it has Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Reese Witherspoon. That movie is fucking hilarious.
That is pretty good too. And some people claim Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie because at the end of the movie, apparently it was like Christmas Day or something.
No, only Marvel nuts would try to get a Christmas movie in there.
I wouldn't consider it a Christmas movie just because there's Christmas themes in it. You know what I mean? But
no, just because the day of the year of Christmas was in the movie. No.
Well, in that case, then you'd be against Die Hard.
No. I am not against Die Hard. Die Hard is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, all of them too. All those movies were good.
Yeah,
maybe the newer ones were a little weaker. That did
Elf, I would say, is definitely up there.
Yep, that was one of Will Ferrell's better ones. That's for sure.
Scrooged.
Oh, which one? The one with Bill Murray?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, good movie. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I forgot all about that movie.
Love that one.
That's probably one of the best versions of the Ebenezer Scrooge storyline.
Yep.
Do you guys remember there was some movie with like Seth Rogen and that whole camp, and it was based on, it was like a Christmas / like almost Hanukkah kind of movie, but there was like, they were friends, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was completely.
I vaguely know what you're talking about.
The Night Before, that's what it was called. It was a comedy. Once again, I don't think that's a family-friendly one, but it was a pretty good movie too.
Okay. So, one movie? It's not a Christmas movie, but 8 Crazy Nights.
That's another great one.
Okay. It's not technically a Christmas movie. It's about Hanukkah, but I would say that's something you would watch around the holiday season.
Oh, easily. That was a good movie for its time too.
And of course, Home Alone,
Oh, of course.
I mean, like, what can you say? Actually, you know what? My favorite childhood Christmas movie, Jingle All the Way.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger?
With Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh my God.
Put down the
cookie down. No. Yeah. Oh
that was a. I wonder if when he signed up for that movie, he knew it would be what it was.
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, huge action star, but also brilliant, unintentional comedian.
Yeah.
Like Sinbad. Yeah.
Sinbad. Yeah, like his Dean Martin to Jerry Lewis, like as where Schwarzenegger would be the straight man. Like, he's hilarious when he's trying to be like super serious in a funny situation.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman on top of it, just egging him on.
And Phil Hartman, rest in peace. Yeah, like, oh my God. Yeah, you played such a dick in that movie too.
I guess another one you could throw in the bag is, what about that Nightmare Before Christmas, a Tim Burton movie?
I mean, it's a good movie, but that's the kind of movie you can enjoy in either season.
Yeah, I feel like it's more really Halloween.
Christmassy
Yeah.
than it is Halloween, but it's like Halloween taking over Christmas. So that's definitely like a goth chick movie for Christmas,
Right. Just having to think of that. I'm trying to cycle
which I
through
like,
it.
by the way.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, especially like for its time. That was definitely like way outside the box, and it had that like clay animation concept
Yeah, I don't
going.
know. That shit always creeped me out.
It
Which
was
I
a little
guess
weird.
was kind of the point, but
Well, I mean, number
I
one,
never liked
Tim
that.
Burton right there should just say it all to you. Look at all the movies he's ever done. Yeah, Beetlejuice, and
Never
he did
really
one
liked
recently with
Beetlejuice either.
he did a couple with not Brad Pitt, with Johnny Depp. What was this?
Oh yeah, Edward Scissorhands.
Wow, that's a classic
Yep,
one.
that's another
Even
That
legendary
I
one.
actually like.
What was the one that was a play about a barber slashing people and then turning them into pies?
Oh, Sweeney Todd.
Scissorhands.
Sweeney Todd.
Oh no,
yeah.
no, yeah, that was okay, yep.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
that was a
Sweeney Todd.
crazy movie.
Yep,
Yeah.
Not to
that
get
was
off
a
topic.
weird movie. Weird fucking movie. If I remember, it was pretty gory too.
Well, it's based on a play, which is exactly the thing. It was like during, I guess, a famine. This lady had to deal with the barber upstairs that, strangers would come in to get like a haircut and a shave, and he'd shave them, slit their throat, pull a lever, the body would slide down and shoot all the way down to the basement, where the lady would chop up the dude, turn it into
Holy.
pies, and people loved her meat pies. Oh, these are so good. You're eating
Oh.
Steve who came into town last week.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
dude,
would have hated
crazy.
to. Damn.
Reminded
You
me
think
not
the
to
meat
eat her
pies were
beef.
good? You should try the cream pies.
Oh,
Reminded me not to eat her pot pies, huh? Like,
yeah.
it's not really beef in there, is it?
And getting back to Christmas movies, there's so many that are good.
Yeah,
I mean, you can always
that's
talk about like A Miracle on 54th Street,
right.
the one
right.
with little Curly Sue plays the daughter.
And there's
I mean,
a
that's
Christmas
a good
Carol
one.
too. That's a legendary one that's been passed around for generations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Christ, it's been redone. That's probably overdue for a remake soon.
Well, isn't that the one that Scrooge is based on?
Technically, yeah, I think it is. So, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I used to watch the Muppet one every year.
I remember that when I was a kid, actually, too. That had Michael Caine in it, too.
The Muppets. Yeah.
Yeah, had Michael Caine was like the main, like the only
Yep.
human, I think, in the whole damn movie.
No.
Yeah. There was others?
Maybe like a couple, not many, but he was one of the main ones. Actually, no, he might have been the only one. You might be right.
Yeah, I don't remember, to be totally
Yeah, what
honest,
was that?
but
What was that Scrooge movie with the Muppets?
That's what he just said. It was it's like a
fuck.
yeah, it was a Muppet
it's a
Christmas Carol or something.
Yeah, Muppet
Yeah.
Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they
That's
have
definitely-
Mickey
Couldn't have
has
thought of a
one.
better name.
That's definitely a family friendly one for
Well,
anyone who
it's a
doesn't already
Christmas
know
Carol.
that.
It's a public domain. So, ooh,
Yeah.
speaking of public domain, do you know who comes up in public domain next?
I heard about
Yeah.
this. It's Mickey Mouse, isn't it?
Mickey Mouse at the end of the year is public
Oh,
domain.
shit.
I don't think they're
Come
gonna
on,
allow
Disney.
it.
Better milk them for every last dollar.
Yeah, right.
Now everyone gets to make Mickey Mouse because he's so hip and in style today.
right. My
All the
question
kids
is,
are raving about him.
how long is it going to
95
take?
years.
How long is it going to take for somebody to make a horror movie about him?
I mean, how long did it take them to make a horror movie out of Winnie the Pooh? That was like,
Yeah.
what?
Clearly not long.
Blood and
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah, I still
Just
haven't watched
money.
that either. So stupid. I can't see it being good. That movie's gotta suck. But I'm gonna one day.
I don't
might
know.
actually watch it.
I definitely want to sit down and watch it one day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I do want to see it, but there's no way it's good. There's no way.
Where's it available to watch? Where can we go watch it?
You know, that's a good question. Let's have a look here.
It was in theaters. You didn't go see that one.
No,
When was the last
even if
time
it
anyone
did, I
went
don't
to a
think it would
theater?
have been there very long. Peacock's got it.
Okay.
Wait, it came out this year?
Yeah, that tells you how bad it probably was.
Yo, I remember. Like, I can almost remember seeing that like years ago, like the preview for it.
Maybe it feels like years ago.
That's
definitely
fucking
does.
weird.
Yeah, it was early. It was
Um,
January 26th.
Oh
So
man,
it was very early.
I see. I'm looking at IMDb, and I see a lot of the cast members. Very attractive cast, I'll say. Definitely makes me want to see it a little bit more.
Is it going to be like one of the old Jason slasher flicks where you see like a titty for 5 minutes?
Titty and Winnie the Pooh? Oh.
I mean,
know where they're going to put that honey.
If they're going to... I was going to say, if they're going to make it like, a horror flick, go complete slasher. Those got pretty big, man.
I bet you it'll happen. Put it that way. I bet you it'll happen. I'm not ruling anything out for that movie. Put it that way.
I fear for Mickey.
And me too at the same time. All right. And I guess that's about all we have for this week. And considering Christmas is around the corner, we'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone.
And until next week.